Ciao e bellissimo! Today's shave is dedicated to all things Italian. Honestly, you've seen everything that I've used with the exception of one thing. I'll go ahead and show that now. This is why I wanted to dedicate this shave to Italia. I got a new razor. This is the Fatip Piccolo lo Storto, which basically means slant and means small or petite. And it's the open comb version. I'm a big fan of slant razors. This is my third. The other slants that I have is a Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements El Fantasma, the double open comb slant, or it's an open comb slant as well. It's plastic. And then also I have the Razor Rock 37 slant. But yeah, this one, very cool looking razor. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, there's quality control issues with Fatip. I have not had that issue. I've only used this razor a couple of times, but still hasn't been an issue at all for me. I think it's a good looking razor, very heavyweight, and it's got a short handle. I actually like the short handle. The one kind of complaint that I have is it doesn't have knurling. It's just got the spiral cut kind of on the handle, and it does get a little bit slick. But yeah, an Italian made razor, so far so good for me. Everything else, this isn't Italian, but this is the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Glow Cube pre-shave. I'm going to use that, as well as Cella, made in Italy. Wonderful soap. I've used this already in a video, but great, sweet, kind of almond scent. My brush that I'm using is an Omega synthetic. This is one of my favorite brushes, also made in Italy. And so I'll be using that. As far as blade goes, I don't know of an Italian blade. Do you guys know of an Italian blade? I don't know. Rapira, though, is the blade, a Platinum Luxe. So a Russian blade with my Italian setup. And then finally, as far as aftershave goes, again, I don't own. There's a million Italian aftershaves, but I don't own an Italian aftershave. So Clubman Sweet Rum. I picked this just because it pairs really well with Cella. So that's everything that I'll be using. Of course, I'm going to be using, let me get it out here, my Timeless bowl. If you watch, you know that I'm mostly bowl lather. So I'll be whipping that up in my Timeless bowl, and we'll be doing a shave with the Lo Storto Piccolo by Fatip. I did that in like a weird order. Fatip Piccolo Lo Storto razor. Yeah, very excited to use that. So let's go ahead and switch camera angles, and we'll go down to the bowl lather. So there's my setup. I've got the soap down in the bowl. It's been soaking with a little bit of water, and of course you can also see the razor and the blade there. So let me just scrape it down a little off the sides, get it down in the bowl before I begin the bowl lather. I like Cella. I think I still prefer Purasso, just because if I'm talking Italian soaps, that was my first soap that I used. And they both do pretty well. I think I get a little bit better performance out of Purasso than I do Cella. But they're both really great. I know they have a big following amongst wet shavers worldwide. How's everything going for everybody? We're still in the process of purchasing that house. It's a long process. Renting is pretty easy. I once looked at a house and then rented it and started moving in the very next day. Purchasing a home is a little bit different. Obviously, the people moving out, they have to find their new home, and you got to get an inspection and an appraisal, and then you got to, I don't know, there's just a lot to do. We're getting close. We're only a couple of weeks away from signing the papers. Pretty excited about that. So honestly, I mainly have one more video in this apartment. I have to dedicate my next shave as to being my last shave in this apartment. We'll see. Okay, that's coming together very nicely. Nice, rich, thick lather. Let's go with that. Looks good. Bellissimo. That just looks perfect there in the bowl. And I'm going to do that pre-shave before I apply this to my face. Again, with Cella, again, not knocking it at all, but not the greatest results for me. I mean, it looks good in the bowl there, but it would kind of go on thin. So I put a little bit of this Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements pre-shave with the cube. This one glows in the dark. I've used it before. I've seen. Actually washed my face with this a few minutes ago. If you read the instructions, which is kind of a no-brainer, my shave routine always includes washing my face really well first. The soap, whatever soap that you're applying with your brush, is going to perform better on a clean face. But I can apply this cube and then leave it, and it kind of meshes with the soap, the Cella. And they have kind of a similar scent, both kind of like sweet. This kind of smells like root beer to me. That's kind of what I get. So, done with that. And the combination of this cube and that soap just make it perfect. So with our new house, I've been driving by like every couple of days like a weirdo. But I've talked to some of my other friends, and they're like, oh yeah, we did the same thing, especially with our first house. You know, you're excited to move in, and so driving by every couple of days, it's not that weird. My wife thinks that the neighbors are going to be like recognizing, because I have a red truck and she has a blue Jeep. Pretty recognizable vehicles. And she thinks the neighbors are going to notice. I'm like, they're not going to notice. It is a double cul-de-sac. Like, we're at the corner of two cul-de-sacs, so you got to pull in and you got to turn around. Maybe they are noticing. We're excited. We actually went, you heard me mention in the last video, it's close to a golf course. So we went out and hit some balls at the driving range the other day. That was fun. Now that the weather is starting to warm up here in Wisconsin, we can do more outdoor activities. This house has a really nice like back deck area. I'm looking forward to hanging out there and drinking beer. I should drink a Stella, since this is an Italian shave. That's an Italian beer. Stella Rossi? I'm probably saying that wrong. Stella is what everyone calls it. With slants, slant razors, the only time that I've known it's kind of tricky is my sideburns, because you've got this slant and it's like, what do you do with the angle of the razor, of the blade? But you figure it out. You can see, I don't know how well, I know you gotta kind of cover your face. Hopefully that focuses, I don't know. But yeah, pretty good slant on this this razor. It feels beautiful. It cuts well. It's great. No issues at all. Really get in on my shirt there. I know like Parker has a semi-slant. I feel like a couple of manufacturers make a semi-slant. This is a full-on slant here. The Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements is a pretty gnarly slant as well. And honestly, this razor isn't too aggressive. I know it's open comb, and a lot of times when we see open comb, we think, oh geez, it's really aggressive. That's not the case. This is a medium aggression. I ordered this from Maggard's Razor, and I also ordered some feather blades. I haven't used feather blades in a long time. I haven't busted those out yet. I wanted to use this a few times before I threw a feather in here. The last time I used feather blades was probably like 2014, and I cut myself quite a bit because I didn't know wet shaving that well. So I'm anxious to see that now I've honed my skills. Will my use with feather be a little bit less of a bloodbath? I've been watching March Madness basketball. I went to Texas Tech. I was really sad to see that Texas Tech got knocked out by Arkansas. Arkansas has now advanced to the Sweet 16. And by the time that I post this video, honestly, it'll probably be over the tournament. But a lot of upsets this year. A lot of people... A lot of black brackets busted. Say that 5 times fast. Brackets busted, brackets busted, brackets busted. Work is going really well. I just came off of a really busy week. Had to work the weekend, which is pretty rare. It was kind of all hands on deck for a big event. Look at that. So things have calmed down a little bit with work. So that's nice. Especially since I'm about to embark on the stress of moving. Yeah, another shipment from Maggard's Razors included this razor, some feather blades like I mentioned, and more soap samples, including Texas soaps. I have a playlist. You should go to my channel if you haven't seen it already. I actually have a playlist which is all the Texas soaps that I've made videos with. So it's ever growing. Still chugging along in this book series that I've started rereading, and I'm on book 5. 5 of 22. And once I finish book 6, then I will be on the book that I was in when I quit reading. I didn't finish the 7th book. So I'm almost to where I was, but I still got a long way to go. That's the Redwall series. That was weird. I just got a notification on my phone. It's weird. Made a weird noise. The notification was to send a link to a video chat that I'm setting up with my, hear me out, it's my uncle's ex-wife, who he was married to back in the 90s. Ended in divorce, didn't work out, but they stayed mutual friends. And she was cool. We all liked her. I don't know the details on why they divorced, but they reconnected, let's just say. Not like remarried or anything. Both single now. But my uncle and her have become friends again. Not that they ever weren't friends. It was mutual, I guess. I don't know. Either way, her and I have reconnected, and I'm going to do a video chat with her. I have not seen or talked to her in over 30 years. And I told my uncle about it, and he thinks it's great. My middle school history teacher / wrestling coach, I reconnected with him recently via video chat. It's cool to go back and see these people who you haven't seen in 20 or 30 years. And I honestly would not have done all of that if it wasn't for the pandemic. The pandemic has caused me to reflect on my life and use technology to reconnect with people from my past. So I'm looking forward to that. So that notification that I got on my phone was to send her the link to our video chat this evening. Have a virtual beer with my former aunt. Do you guys say aunt, or do you say auntie, or what's the other one? Aunt, auntie, or now I can't think of it because I say aunt. Aunt. Do you say aunt? Regional. Wherever you're from, you say whatever you grew up saying. So, great shave. With the Piccolo Lo Storto by Fatip. Am I saying that correct? Fatip? I like to put a little bit of an Italian accent on it. Fatip. There's lots of Italian wet shaving YouTubers out there. I love watching their videos. One thing I'll quickly demonstrate, I'm going to have to probably re-clean my face if I do so, but I've noticed with a lot of them, when they put the lather on, they're holding the actual brush itself. Can you see that? And so then when they apply, I'm going to have to rewash my face, their fingers are like in the brush. Watch some Italian wet shaving YouTubers, and this is how they hold it. They kind of crush the brush and fan it out, and that's how they apply the lather. And of course it gets all over their fingers, just like I've done here. But I don't know, interesting. I notice a lot of the Italian, I'm kind of losing the brush now, it's falling out of my hand, but that's how a lot of the Italian wet shavers apply the lather on their face. Now I'm going to wash my face again. Just something interesting. My assumption is that's kind of just how they do it in Italy, and that's how their fathers or grandfathers or uncles taught them how to apply the lather. Yeah, there's lots of Italian. I love watching non-English speaking wet shavers videos. To me, there's kind of a beauty in not really knowing what they're saying. It's relaxing to just watch and hear a foreign spoken language. And there's probably a couple people out there that have watched my videos and not really exactly known what I'm saying. I don't think the English language is all that. It's definitely not as pretty as like Italian or French or Spanish. The romantic languages. The romance languages. So, this is that Clubman Sweet Rum. It pairs well with Cella. A nice kind of sweet scent. I'll have to pick up an Italian aftershave like Piccolo or something. Let me do one more little splash here on my. My wife really likes this scent. It needs a minute to kind of breathe, and then it just has a really nice sweet rum scent. It's called Sweet Rum. That makes sense. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my Italian shave. Probably going to do a Texas soap for my next shave. And like I said, my next shave might be my last shave in this bathroom. We'll see. I might be able to squeeze one more in before we move. But either way, thank you so much for watching.